Morning folks, welcome to the heart of cycling. It's a lovely Friday morning on the south side of Glasgow. The sun is just about coming through the clouds there, how about that? And I've got the day off, yeah, beauty. So I thought, let's make the most of what looks like it's going to be a good day and get out. How you doing? Get out for a longer run, and it kind of got me thinking about what you need to think about to have a longer day out on the bike. The kind of extra prep. I usually go out and do about 40 miles, 60k or something like that, so I don't have to get too concerned about how far I'm going or how long I'm going to be out. But today I'm going to do probably more, like just over 100k, 60 odd miles. So when you get into that kind of distance, you need to think a wee bit more about your planning and prep. So I've got some pointers that I thought I would just share with you. I think the first one, number one, would be plan your route. You know, making sure you know where you're going first and foremost, and that it's a good cycling route. There's lots of ways you can do that. I use Strava, and because I'm in the cycling club, there's always routes that the other guys have done that I can copy. Thanking Neil for today's route. So that's always a good source, but there's other places like Chamois is really good. Map My Ride with GPS. So there's a bunch of places you can go in and get other people's routes and just copy them. Or you can make up your own, but if you don't know the roads, it's a good idea just to maybe check them out on Google Street View. Make sure you're not going to be on any kind of particularly fast and dangerous driving roads, and try and find the quieter back roads. Keep yourself safe. And if you're old school, just dig out an OS map and plot a wee route and see how that goes. But yeah, route finding. Know where you're going. That's a good start. So number two would be a pretty obvious one, I think. Just make sure your bike's in good enough working order that you're not heading out with any problems, and you've given it a good once over. And just basic things like make sure your tyres are pumped up, your chain is oiled, and the brakes are working. And then carry the essentials that you might need to be self-sufficient when you're out, especially a puncture, spare tubes, tyre levers, and a pump. The absolute basics. You'd be amazed. Just last week I was out and there's someone that needed a pump and didn't have one. If you're out in the countryside, that's kind of crazy. Get away with it in the city maybe, but not out in the countryside. So yeah, give your bike a good once over so you don't run into any mechanical problems. Look at this now. So number three, I think, would be prepared for your day out in terms of the clothing as well. I mean, the forecast today is very good, so I can travel pretty light. But I still came out this morning with my gilet on because the sun wasn't quite up yet. It's burning off now and it's going to be a cracker. But, you know, we're in Scotland. Things can change quickly. And if you're out for a longer time, if you get caught out, then there's a chance of ending up being very uncomfortable or hypothermic, or you can get yourself into trouble So think very carefully about what you're going to pack for your day out. Lightweight, waterproof jacket, always a good idea, even if it's just for a bit of protection from the wind. So yeah, be prepared for bigger days out with your clothing. So another one for long days out is just to make sure you've got enough snacks, enough nutrition and water to keep you going. Now normally I would just take one bottle for a ride, but if I'm going out for 100k, I want to make sure I've got 2 bottles on the bike, and also I'll stick one of these rehydration tablets into the bottles just to give me that electrolyte and keep me going when I'm out in the middle of nowhere. And also some food, whatever it is you like to take. Obviously got the gels that are fast to get into your system, full of glucose or whatever. They'll keep you going, but whatever it is that works for you. Because if you've ever experienced it, you'll know there's nothing worse than cycling than the dreaded bonk, where your body's just empty, your legs turn to jelly, you feel like you can barely turn the pedal. Absolutely horrible. So yeah, make sure you get food and water, and that you remember to take it. You can set wee reminders, I think, in your Garmin and stuff like that, but just be sensible, carry what you need, and remember to keep drinking and keep eating before it's too late, because if you're already feeling hungry, then you're already in trouble. How about this? Blue sky, empty roads, beautiful scenery. Brilliant. Another thing to remember about being out for a longer day is just to spin and enjoy it. You know, there's no point in going out and bursting yourself and worrying about your average speed or your watts or any of that stuff. You're going to be out longer. You need to make sure you don't overdo it in the first part of the ride, and you've got plenty in the tank to get you home that you might not be used to doing that kind of distance. So just take it easy, spin up the hills. You know what they say, spinners are winners. So just take it easy, and enjoy it. Zone 2, Zone 1, whatever you want to call it. Make sure you're not bursting yourself and you can enjoy it, because my goodness, there's a lot to enjoy today. Essential to plan in for a big day out. Where are you going to stop for lunch? I've made this mistake before where you think you've got somewhere en route, you turn up and it's closed for some reason, or the opening hours have changed, or it's gone out of business, and you're left in the middle of nowhere without any options. And when you've got a lot of miles in your legs and you've taken your gel, then that's not a good place to end up. So anyway, I planned today's route so that we could stop at the Douglas Bakery, which is a cracking wee spot and it's just about halfway around my loop. So ideally situated to refuel, sit in the sun, pretend I am actually in Mallorca today, and yeah, keep me going for the second half of what's turning out to be a phenomenal day out. Right, time to get some grub. Okay, that's us refueled, water bottles filled, ready to go. Remembered everything. Ready to go, and reapplied as well. Longer runs. I like to think of the importance of the creams. First of all, the chamois cream. You're going to be sitting in that saddle for a bit longer, so even if you don't normally use chamois cream, good idea for bigger days out for sure. And sun cream. It's kind of crazy in Scotland, we don't see a lot of sun, but when it does decide to appear, we seem to have a reluctance to even think about putting on sun cream. But yeah, important, especially when you're on the bike and you kind of maybe don't feel the heat quite as much, but you can be sure it's having an impact. So remember your suntan lotion, and keep covered up. Be sensible. Right. Time to head out of Douglas. I'm going to go along the road to Muirkirk and then back towards Straven. So that's the home stretch really. But I mean, what a day to be out. Got the Mallorcan top on, but it feels quite appropriate for conditions like this. Could easily be sitting in a nice wee plaza in Mallorca in conditions like this. Right, let's go. Okay, just arrived in Muirkirk. It's quite a nice stretch from Douglas. The road's a wee bit busy, but there's plenty of space for the trucks and the traffic to pass you by, and it just rolls along quite nicely. So that's why I'm pecking a wee bit, because I was actually putting the watts down, at least as many watts as I can find. Anyway, we're here at maybe an unlikely stop off. This is Muirkirk Cemetery, Commonwealth War Graves, and the reason I'm stopping off here, hang on, let's go in. Is actually because there's a water fountain or a tap somewhere in here, which was pointed out to me before, and oh, there it is there, which makes for a good wee stop off. Here it is. So it's good to know if you're out on a ride that apart from stopping at a cafe obviously and refilling your bottles there might be somewhere else that is good for a top up, because nothing worse than running out of water, honestly. If you've done it, you know what I'm talking about. Oh my God, that's good. Absolutely roasting. Right, that's us, full bottles, certainly a full belly after my stop in Douglas and the bakery. That's some feast you get there, good value as well. So now just up the hill out of Muirkirk and back over towards Straven, heading back north, 47 miles in, so certainly by my standards, a bigger day out. Everyone's got their own definition of a big day out, but for me, if I'm heading over 50 miles, that's getting into big day out territory. But what a day for it. Okay, I'm just going to stop for a wee breather. Up the top of the hill, coming over from Muirkirk. Now a lovely descent all the way down to Straven. So that's what's ahead of me. But yeah, just one more thing to think about, especially if you're out on your own, but even if you're out with others who might not have your contact information or, you know, emergency contacts. You know, safety first, especially for me with my post-cardiac condition. What I do is I put a, in case of emergency, dog tag on with my contact information, blood type, the fact that I've got a pacemaker defibrillator device implanted in me, and I carry the card for that as well in my back pocket. So, you know, hopefully nothing happens, but just in case something does happen, people can find out who you are and who to contact and any conditions they might have very, very quickly. So, safety first, always a good idea. Right, we're home. That was 75 miles, 120 kilometres. So for me, certainly a bigger than average day out, but very successful. Feeling great. And honestly, on days like this, you've just got to get out and make the most of it. So I was delighted to have a day off and be out in the sunshine. Absolutely glorious. Just Scotland at its best. So that was magic. So yeah, hope the tips are useful for your own day out. Let me know how you got on. I'm away for a lie down in a dark room. All the best. See you soon. Cheers.